I'm Lisa, the artist behind Lachri Fine Art. In today's artist vlog, we are going to be covering a subject you guys have asked for, how to choose a good reference photo. I think the easiest way to do this is going to be to actually show you guys examples of some photos that I would consider good to paint from and some that I would not even consider. We're going to be looking at a whole lot of photos of studio assistants 1 and 2 just because I have so many photos of them that I've taken on my phone, so it's a good example of a lot of bad photos. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of these and I will talk about what I like and dislike about a lot of these photos. One of the things that you're going to have happen a lot, especially if you're doing pet portraits, is people are going to submit photos to you that they want painted that they think they really are cute photos, but they do not make for good paintings. They just don't translate well. In this case, horrible lighting, I can't see any detail in her eyes. It's just not going to make for a very good painting. Now, using the same blanket, different pillow that the dog is laying on, I'm using a much better camera. I've got way better lighting, so you can use something very, very similar, but you can see this photo is much, much better to work from because the detail in the dog is going to make up for it being I don't love this angle to work on, but the detail in her eyes is really going to draw your focus there. I don't love the color of the blanket over her. I think that kind of is a bit distracting, but I can work around that. I can change the color of the blanket. I can change the color of the pillow. But the main thing here is that the focus on the eyes, the detail around the eyes is so strong that I could definitely make a good portrait out of this one. Now this one I think is even better. I like the angle better, and this one I would let the customer decide or the client decide, do they like the previous one where you can see the eyes better or this one? I just like the angle of her head better, and I like the colors in the blankets a lot better. But you can see still, if you like the photos with the dog, if the client wanted a photo with the dog under a blanket, that's possible. You just want to get better lighting, get good detail, that sort of thing is really important. Taking a look at this photo of Echo, she's close enough. The angle is okay. You can see that I'm eye level with her, which is good when you're taking photos. You don't want to be looking down on the dog or down onto the person, whoever you're taking photos of. The problem here is that it's kind of blurry. I can't see a whole lot of detail. If I was working impressionistic, would not be a problem. But if I'm doing something very realistic, I need to see that detail, and this photo just doesn't provide that for me. Now this may seem obvious. The photo is obviously too dark, it's kind of blurry, I can't see any detail, but you will have people that will submit photos to you and they want you to paint something like this. Don't be afraid to tell them no, you can't work from it, because there is no way I could use that photo and make that look good. Here we've got slightly better lighting, but you can see the flash went off, her eyes look terrible, the lighting, it's just not a flattering photo of the dog. And again, I'm not going to really be able to make that one look great. The angle is good though. I am more eye level with her, so that's not terrible, but it's just the lighting is an issue here. The lighting and the detail are the things that are really lacking in this photo. One of the things that I hear a lot from clients is that because they have a black dog, they don't feel they can get a photo with good lighting. Here's an example of great lighting on a black dog. She's got the lighting coming from the one side, which is ideal, but I can still see the detail on both sides of her face. It's a great angle because I'm looking at her eye level. I don't love photos where the dog's looking straight at the camera. I prefer 3/4 angle, but this is still good. I could still work from this and make a good painting out of it. This one is another great example of how great with the lighting you can get on a black dog. Don't let someone tell you that because they're black you can't get good lighting. You can get such striking, stunning lighting if you get the sunlight hitting from the right angle. This is sunlight, not indoor lighting. Indoor lighting usually not going to be very good. And this is a clear photo. I'm up close to her face so I can see all of the detail that I want there. And it's just nice contrast. Plus I'm eye level with her. So again, it's a good angle as far as that goes. This photo would also translate very, very well into a painting. I would probably crop out, I can kind of see her back leg and her back in this photo. I would remove that from the painting. I would just use her neck. But look at the shadows in her neck and the highlights there. It would make for an absolutely beautiful painting. I'll probably end up painting this sometime in the future. But again, here's another example where a black dog can have just gorgeous, gorgeous lighting if you're using direct sunlight. And the only way that I'm getting this is the sun coming directly from the window next to her. I'm not using expensive, fancy lighting. I'm using just the right time of day, positioning her next to a window. Here's another photo that I would not work from. Bad indoor lighting, and the dog is just, she's too far away. I can't see the detail that I would need to really get a realistic painting up from this. If I were working in Impressionism, I could make this work. But as far as doing anything realistically, this photo wouldn't be a good choice for me. Here's another one. Cute photo, terrible lighting. I can't see any detail. There is no way I would paint from this. And another one I wouldn't work from. This one, the lighting is stronger, it's more clear. The problem is that she's just too washed out. I really can't see the detail again. The lighting, the contrast is just really weird on this photo. This one would not translate well into a painting. And sometimes understanding and knowing what you can make translate well into a painting just comes down to experience. So that is something that will get easier for you to know before you start painting, the more you do. With this one, I've got boring indoor lighting. I have no real lights and darks, no contrast really at all. I can see detail well enough. The other problem with this, horrible angle. You do not want to use photos almost ever. There will be exceptions, but more often than not, you do not want to use a photo where you're looking down on top of the subject like I am here. For this photo, again, bad angle. If I wanted to take a photo of this dog for a painting, I need to be down level with the dog, which would mean I'd need to lay on the ground, and that wasn't going to happen. But looking down, this is not ideal. The other thing is it was midday, bright sun. It looks better if you can get the sunlight from one side or the other, so early morning, late afternoon. Sunlight that is directly above will usually not make for the best portraits. This one is a great shot for a portrait. I'm up close to her. The focus is on her eyes. I've got nice contrast on the one side of her head. This one is just good angle, good lighting all around, would make for a great portrait. This one, the lighting, the contrast isn't as strong, but the lighting, the coloring, the shading, everything is so nice on this. Again, I'm close up to her. I can see the detail that I need. So this one would also make for a really, really good portrait. And the angle is great on that. Again, I'm eye level and not looking down on her. More often than not, people are going to submit photos to you where they were looking at the dog who was sitting on the floor. Those don't usually look very good. Here's a photo I took of a goat. This one, the neck angle is weird. The ear is covering half of his face. The lighting's just kind of not so great. This is just not a real strong photo to work from. Now here's the same goat. It just walked a little further. His head and neck are in a much better position. The lighting and shadows on his chin are better. His ear is no longer covering his face. You have to take a lot of photos. If you're taking the photos yourself, you want to take tons and tons of photos when you're taking shots of animals, because it will take me about 100 shots to get one or two that I would actually use in a painting. Just take lots and lots and lots of photos. Now here's one. The photo is clear. It's a high resolution photo. I can blow the bird up quite a bit. The problem is it's a terrible angle. There is nothing flattering about the way that I'm looking down on the bird, the position of the bird's head. There's just nothing good about that. So even if you have a really high resolution photo, it doesn't mean it's going to look good in a painting. Here's a shot of a cow. It's slightly blurry. The lighting is bad. He's kind of cast in a shadow. There's just nothing very flattering. The way his ears are positioned, this just does not make for a good painting. This one is a much, much stronger photo of that little baby longhorn. He's flipped around. He's in the sunlight, so I can see tons of detail here. His ear's in a better position. Everything about this angle is much, much stronger for a painting. I actually used this one for a drawing. This one or another one that's very similar. But this is a much, much stronger one than the first photo that I showed you. Same little baby longhorn, just a different position, different angle makes a huge difference sometimes. Take a look at one photo of some people. I'm sure my friends are going to love me for posting this online. But let's say we look at the guy in the middle. We want to do a painting of him. He's too far away. You can't see detail. Even though it's a high resolution photo, when I blow that up, I still can't see the detail that I need. For me, a general rule, if I'm going to do a painting of a person, I want to be able to see their tear line. If I can't see their tear line, I can't see enough detail to get the painting very accurate. Unless I'm working with an impressionistic style, then that's okay. But otherwise, I really want to be able to see the detail. Here's a photo of the same guy. This one has way, way better lighting. It's much closer so I can see all of the detail. So this one I would actually do a painting from. I like the angle better on this. I personally like photos where people aren't looking at the camera, but that's a personal preference. You can go either way on that. For me though, this angle is good. I'm eye level with him. I'm not looking down or up at him. And the lighting, that highlight on the side of his face, all of this together makes for what would turn out to be a very strong portrait. And the more contrast I can get, the better. This one doesn't have tons of contrast, but it's still workable. I could still make a good painting out of this. If you can get more contrast where it's really dark on one side of the person's face and really light on the other side, just like with some of the photos I showed you of my dogs, that will make for an even better painting. So I hope that helped you out. And there's so much more to choosing a reference photo. These are just some basics, especially focusing on pet portraits because I do have a lot of people ask about those. But yeah, I hope that helps. If you are looking for reference photos and you don't have photos of your own that you want to work from, you can check out Paint My Photo. I'll put a link to that in the video description where photographers have taken tons and tons of photos and allow us artists to use them royalty free. So that's a pretty awesome way to go. If you're looking for wildlife art, of course there's Jason Morgan. He sells royalty free reference photo CDs for artists that are great. So there's a lot of ways that you can go there if you don't have your own photos. Quick update, just to let you guys know, I know so many of you, probably the most requested vlog topic that I've had is talking about skin tones. So next weekend I will be talking a little bit about that, and that week's video is going to be a colored pencil portrait of a little girl. So again, we're going to be looking at more skin tones. I also have some exciting news. I have a box of the Karen Dark? I don't know how to say it, but they're luminance pencils that are absolutely amazing. I will be doing a review on those coming up sometime in the very near future, so you have that to look forward to as well. If you're new here, I have new video critiques every Tuesday where I'm critiquing your original paintings or drawings, my own speed paintings, drawings, and tutorials every Wednesday, and vlogs most weekends. So make sure you subscribe, follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Tumblr, all those social media sites. Links are below in the video description. You can keep up with news, my newest work, and see real-time clips of whatever it is that I am currently working on. See you guys Tuesday. Hi guys, thanks for watching. If you like these videos, please let me know in the comments below and leave some more suggestions for ideas that you would like to see in future vlogs. You're not mad at me for sharing all those bad photos of you, are you? I thought they were pretty cute, even if I don't want to paint from them. See you Tuesday.